Hey, 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 Thorns fans. Glad to have you with us near and far. I'm Schatz, delighted to introduce to you the newest member of the team. This is kind of an are you kidding me moment. Welcome to the Thorns, U.S. Women's National Team standout, NWSL MVP, two-time NWSL champion, Crystal Dunn. Welcome to the team, Crystal.
Thank you so much for having me.
Heck yeah. The chess game deal that brings you to Portland is complete. It's in the books. Thorns fans, as we speak, are going nuts. Tell us how you're feeling about this blockbuster move.
I mean, words can't even express how I'm feeling. I am, overwhelmed with joy, but also, moving on from obviously a team that, I've fought hard for is difficult. But with that being said, I am ready for a new challenge and ready to be embraced by the Thorn clan.
This all feels so surreal. I mean, I don't have to remind you about the Courage and Thorns rivalry like no other in the NWSL. No love lost, bad blood, an outright dislike between the two clubs. You've been such a huge part of the Courage in their chase to the championships the last couple of years. This has got to feel kind of strange for you too, huh? Leaving this team you love so much to come to the Thorns where you live year round.
Yes, it has been, really challenging. Of course, I'm so excited for a new chapter challenge in my life, but I do think a part of me is kind of sad. I've had a great run with North Carolina. It's a place that has been so good to me. Going to school in Chapel Hill, that area has been really important to me. But I do think that everyone's supportive. I truly believe that I've left my all and I've always given my everything for the club. And it's like a relationship almost. It's just time to move on and it's okay. You don't regret it. You are super happy that it happened and you're ready to move on and face a new challenge.
I love that. Let's talk about how you might see where you see yourself fitting in with the Portland Thorns. Your incredible versatility has seen you play darn near every position but goalkeeper where you draw the line, and I love that. Any idea how and where the Thorns plan on using you, Crystal?
I actually have not had a sit-down talk with Mr. Parsons yet,
Okay.
but that's definitely going to happen very soon. I do think that I will be in attacking position wherever he feels that I would fit best with the team. I think he's knowledgeable. He's going to know what my skill set will bring to this team. And, we're just going to go from there. And for me, luckily, I have played in multiple positions that nothing throws me off guard anymore.
2021 can't get here fast enough for the Thorns team and fans. Really a fun lineup when you stop and look at what the Thorns have to offer and now featuring you. When you look at the Thorns personnel, what do you look forward to most when it comes to next season? Knock on wood that we get it in.
I think, the Thorns has always been a club that possesses the ball well. So for me, I know playing alongside all the players, I know that, they're going to play me hard balls that they know that I can handle, and I'm going to do the same for them. And I think that's a really comforting thing to know that your team is technical and, of course, knowledgeable of the game as well. So I just look forward to playing, obviously, with Sink. I look forward to playing with Kling and Becky. Obviously, I know her very well, and just really sharing the pitch with so many incredible players that have just done so well in their careers is going to be really exciting.
The expectations are nuts, and they are. Most experts are going to figure that this move will put the Thorns back into title contention. Would you agree?
Well, goodness, that's a lot of pressure on me.
I know it. I know
it. Well, hopefully, because I do think that, we're all competitive. I'm a competitor at heart. And like I said, I always give my all. And, I leave it all out there on the field. And, going into the next year, I do hope that, people are looking at this club as, yes, they're going to win a title next year, because, of course, that is pretty much why I step foot on the field, is to win. No one's trying to train just to be like, okay, well, maybe we're going to do something this year. It's like, nope, we're stepping on the field to train because we know that, we're going to be the ones lifting the trophy in the end.
You mentioned Mr. Parsons. You'll be playing for Mark Parsons again, who selected you as the number one pick in the 2014 NWSL draft. Stellar career for North Carolina. He, of course, with the Washington Spirit at the time. So you joined that camp. And you play 2 seasons with Mark and the Spirit. What about Mr. Parsons What about his coaching and playing style? What are you looking forward to in terms of getting back to that again?
Yeah, I mean, Mark is definitely a different coach than he was when I was fresh out of college. He was young. He's definitely learned and grew so much in his coaching career, and I do think what has remained the same is his passion. Every time I'm competing against the Thorns, I can always hear Mark. I can always hear him just sharing his love for the game and just encouraging players to be at their best. And that's what he did for me in 2014 and 2016. Obviously, he was such a supporting person in my life that has really just encouraged me to be at my very best. And of course, in a year that I struggled emotionally about missing out on the World Cup, he was somebody who was always in my corner and just believed in me. And I truly believe that obviously reuniting with him is going to be just an incredible experience again. And just I can learn so much from him. And like I said, he's grown so much as a coach that I'm just excited to see what his game plan is.
Me too. A lot of folks are. Crystal, when folks poke around and look at your journey and see where you've come from and where you are now, it resonates with an awful lot of us, not only as a soccer player, but as a human being in terms of perseverance, reinvention, a return to the love of the game after a crushing disappointment. You mentioned the disappointment of not being named to that 2015 World Cup club. Let's talk about that a little bit, but let's review. You're a phenom in Long Island. You're recruited by North Carolina. You dominate all 4 years. You win a national championship in 2012. Does that sound right?
Yes, that's okay. It.
All right. As we mentioned, you're the top pick in the 2014 draft, NWSL. Solid, stellar rookie campaign. And you have a great shot of making that 2015 World Cup club. One of your bucket goals. That's a bucket list goal. You get the call from Ellis. You were one of the last players cut. That feeling of devastation, did it even lead you to think about maybe hanging up the boots?
Yeah, I was devastated because, as a player who looks at herself as an elite athlete, elite player, it's always hard to take that you're not good enough, that you didn't make a team. A lot of us don't really face that a whole lot in our environment. So we, sometimes don't know how to, it's a shock. We don't know how to take it. And I think that was what I felt. And, it hurt. I definitely was disappointed in myself and knew that, or I thought I knew I deserved to be on that roster. And, for me, it wasn't easy to really get back to training. I didn't want to show face. I was embarrassed. I was like, oh my gosh, everyone knows that I didn't make the team. So how do I show back up to training the next day and compete in the NWSL that year? But I do think what really got me started was the encouragement from my teammates at the time, the encouragement from Mark Parsons, and just me trusting in my abilities and knowing that, it's one person's choice and opinion not to bring me onto that roster. But at the end of the day, I believe in myself and I know my skill set. And that's really what carried me through the rest of the year.
So you got to show up the next day for work, if you will. The Spirit are counting on you, and you challenge yourself to watch those World Cup matches. You challenge yourself to say, darn it, I'm going to watch my friends and teammates compete. You say to yourself, okay, the championship match is here, United States in the finals. I'm going to watch this thing from a local DC pub. And this is when it gets kind of Hollywoodish. You phone a friend, you got a lifeline, you need support sitting with you with your hat pulled down at the bar. And who do you call? Bring us up to speed about where we're going with this story.
I know where you're going with this.
Of course you do.
I will meet you exactly where you're at right now.
Oh.
I phoned a Mr. Pierre Soubrier, and he was an awesome friend at the time. He I looked at him as someone who was neutral, going to a bar to watch the game with, your teammates. You feel like, I just don't feel comfortable really, the person I choose to go to the bar with should be someone who knows where I'm coming from and know, my emotions that are going in and out of the game. And I feel like for him, he was just so easy to talk to and just somebody who was like, I know what you're going through. It's important that you support the team and you obviously understand that, yes, that could have been you, but you know what? You're young and, you have so much more life and career ahead of you. So yes, he was awesome. We watched the final together and I guess the rest was history.
He at the time was the trainer for the Spirit. Is that correct?
Yes, he was the athletic trainer at the time.
Okay. So you lose the World Cup spot, but you gain a husband because you and Pierre are married in December of 2018. That's not a bad trade-off.
No, it's not. Looking back, I'm like, you know what? I kind of lucked out in a sense. And I think that's really I think it's really important people realize that, because I do think in 2015, I'm always tied to this year because it's like, oh, you missed out on the World Cup, you missed out on the World Cup. But in that same year, you know, I go on to win the Golden Boot and become MVP. And to me, that's not a bad year. And like you said, I gained a husband. I'm like, listen, 2015 was a golden year for me.
And you know that year could have gone either way. How did Crystal Dunn reclaim Crystal Dunn? I know you had help from Coach Parsons, who said, we need you. Pierre obviously said, hey, last time I checked, there's another World Cup in 4 years that you can go for, but it still had to come down to you. How did Crystal Dunn reclaim Crystal Dunn?
Yeah, I mean, I went through so many different phases of how I can really get myself back to where I need to be. And I think it started with me being placed in the number 9 role. For me, I've always looked at myself as an attacking player. And I remember the day Mark was like, Chris, you're going to play the 9 for us this year. And I was like beaming. I was like, oh my gosh, yes, this is where I belong. This is where I feel most comfortable and most like myself. And I think, anyone that knows me knows that I'm a simple person. You know, give me some direction going into the game and I'll make it happen. And for me, and that season, Mark was just like, I want you to be the 9. I want you to cause havoc. I want you to always want the ball. I want you to support and just wreak havoc across the field. And I was like, cool, coach, I can do that. And again, it was the belief that it was the belief from him that he knew the player that I can be. And I think that's so important. And I think, you don't really ever go down a road by yourself. Your journey is really built around so many people. And I think I really do owe that season and him everything, because it's exactly what I needed to really believe in myself and propel myself in the right direction.
Okay. So we'll all agree that you're a striker by trade and preference. Okay, but
maybe not anymore. I mean, that was back in the Stone Age.
That's true. And in order to make that national team, as Ellis is now opening up camps again and giving folks a shot, she sees you as a left back. So there's another challenge that has to be accepted by you. And in short order, you become one of the most durable starters on the team. How are you able to do that when you're thinking left back? But hey, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I was not a happy camper when I was pretty much placed as an outside back. I think a lot of it was me really struggling with my identity. For a long time, I was like, oh my gosh, no one's going to recognize me as an outside back. For me, I'm a midfielder, I'm a forward, I assist, I help score goals. And if I get placed as a left back, like I can't do all the things that I think that I'm known for. So I struggled with, my identity, and some days I still to this day struggle with, and I think for me, it was just taking it one day at a time and saying, hey, if you want me to be a starter and if I potentially have the chance to start in a World Cup, I'm game. I know I can do it. I know if I'm playing next to Becky Sarabron, she is going to cover me. She's going to be, the best teammate possible, and she's going to make me better.
So the 2019 World Cup, what was your ultimate triumph? Patience, perseverance rewarded. Did this whole thing, and we got to factor Pierre in here because that was pretty good. But has this whole crazy journey, which still brings you to tears on occasion, has it made you a better player, a better teammate?
Of course. I mean, I think me playing in multiple roles and filling, different positions has definitely made me a better teammate. It's made me realize that it's really team first. And of course, I have my own goals and my own dreams that I want to achieve. But at the end of the day, I need the team to be at their best for me to be at my best. And if a coach says, hey, for our team to be at our best, we need you to play in this position, then for me, I know I'm going to automatically improve. I have the ability to now see the game from so many different angles. And I think that's really incredible. Sometimes I'm like, is that really that cool? I don't really know. I mean, for me, I'm like, just put me in one place. I want to see the field from just one position. But, for me, I step on the field knowing what it's like to be a midfielder. So now when I'm an outside back, I know, how to see the game as if I want my midfielders to be in a certain position. And I think I think it's really incredible. It's helped me grow as a player. And of course, like I said, being a better teammate, just being selfless.
Okay, so now you can call Portland home. You can live here all year around. As the crazy Pierre story continues, he's now the head trainer for the Portland Thorns, taking on that gig in January of 19. I mean, you really kind of can't make this stuff up. So until this moment, was it a house divided? I mean, you're running like crazy for the Courage. He's over at on the other sidelines looking down at you saying, "Curse you, Courage." I mean, what was it like in the household, darn it, until this move?
Oh, gosh. It was definitely a house divided. We tried very, very hard to support each other. You know, if the Thorns won, I was like, okay, good job, I guess. I mean, I feel weird saying that, but good job. And if my team won, he did not talk to me for like some hours, especially if it was a North Carolina Courage game versus the Thorns. I feel like, you know, his phone would miraculously be off. And I'm like, hold up, your phone was on. I don't know why it's off now, but so it was challenging. You know, I think, of course, there's some laughs in it, but I do think it did get hard on our relationship, because I do know that my success sometimes meant that his side wasn't successful, and vice versa. And of course, you know, we just played each other in the Challenge Cup. The Thorns knocked, you know, my team out. I was pretty upset about that. Haven't lost a game in a long time. So of course that hit me all at once. And then the worst part of it was I see him sliding on his knees as if he scored the game-winning goal. So for me, that hurt. He knows it hurt. And, you know, he was like, well, I want to win something. Like, let me have this shine right now. And I was like, you know what? Fine. But I'm still upset. And you know what? You can have it then, I guess.
Well, at least you agreed on that one. And now the household will come together in peace. I know you're getting to know the city very well. And I guess you're officially a Portlander because now you own chickens. Is that correct?
Yes, I own chickens. I know everyone is probably like, Crystal, who are you? What is going on over there? I own 5 chickens. We are really happy about it. It has been a journey. Basically, when the world shut down, we were cooped up in our house and we were like, let's get some chickens. Like, this could be cool. You know, we have so much time now to really, you know, raise them and see what it's going to be like. And honestly, they're incredible animals. Like, they just do their own thing. They're so easy. I think the hardest thing is really just getting up in the morning and having to let them out. Sometimes I'm like, no, I have to take the chickens out, you know? So other than that, they're fun.
Okay. Before I let you go, I love the fact that I've been kind of consumed with how you got to wear number 19. Obviously that number's up for grabs for the Thorns. You've been wearing that since your North Carolina days. And I thought, well, wait a second. There was a certain player for Carolina that wore 19. How come Crystal Dunn gets to wear it? How did you know who let you wear number 19? You know who, being Mia Hamm.
Yes. This story still gives me chills because, you know, for me being a young girl, knowing that I'm going to UNC, it was, you know, a dream come true. And then getting the opportunity to really see Mia kind of walking on the sidelines and coaching me from time to time, I was like, I cannot believe this is happening. Like, I need to keep my cool though. I want to, you know, not come off as a crazy fan, you know? And then the North Carolina team was able to go to the 2011 World Cup, which was an amazing trip. I'm so happy that colleges now are getting that opportunity to really take players out of the country and get this experience. And Mia was there. And of course, she's in our section, and she was like, Crystal, come here. And I was like, okay, hi, Mia. I'm a crazy fan again, but let me just keep my cool. And she says, you know, my number's coming out of retirement this upcoming season. I was like, okay, like, yes. And she was like, do you want to wear it? Whoa. And I was like, Mia, absolutely not. I am going to put shame on this jersey. I don't want to be responsible for having a bad game or bad season, whatever it is. And she was like, Crystal, I've had plenty bad games in this jersey. And I was like, I really doubt that. But okay, if that's, you know, if that's what you're saying, then okay, I'll see what I can do. I'll get my fears out the way. And, you know, and I accepted her offer. I was like, this is an honor. I'm really I'm so fortunate that she chose me to wear this jersey. And, you know, I played the rest of my college career with her name on my sleeve. And every time we want to get, I was like, yes, Mia, that one's for you. That one's for you. And I think it's just incredible. I went on to retire the jersey as well. So now whoever wears 19 in North Carolina has Mia Hamm and my name on each sleeve. So I think it's just, I mean, it's incredible. It's like surreal, you know. But yeah, it's a very great story of why we're the number 19.
Okay, and still wearing it, and it's living large on the back of your jersey, and your jersey is going to have Thorns on the front, your name on the back, and think of 25,000 people calling your name with love instead of screaming at you coming up when fans are able to come back. Think about that.
That is going to be so much better. You know, it's first of all, the environment is always incredible. I think when people ask, you know, when I'm obviously stepping into the stadium, you know, how do you feel when you play against obviously a team like the Thorns and also in front of all their fans? And I'm like, you know what? They're setting the standard for the league. And I think that was just such an environment that I was so honored to always play in. And now, yes, like you said, playing for these fans versus playing against the fans is definitely going to be a different feeling. And I'm just so excited to have that opportunity.
Crystal Dunn, thank you so much for being with us today, and a really warm welcome to the Portland Thorns. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you so much.
Cheers. See you soon.